Alright there everyone, it's Fam here again for MTGOntario, and we're bringing you another Scars of Mirrodin Block 8-4 draft. I'm kind of bored lately, decided to do one of these. Not much has been really going on over here. I did some interviews recently and I got a job lined up starting in August, roughly, to be teaching English at a language company here in Japan. And I will be a full-time teacher until school starts in September, and from which point I'll become a part-time teacher. And right now I'm just waiting for my student visa and work permits, all that paperwork and documentation to go through. So I'm pretty much just sitting around, no job, no school, pretty much doing nothing. From day to day, I'm just looking to hang out with friends and spend some time and enjoy the summer. But it's really, really hot right now. Last couple of days, it's been above 30 degrees Celsius on a regular basis. For those of you who don't use the Celsius degree system, I'm not exactly how much. I'm not exactly sure how much that is in terms of Fahrenheit, but I guess you could look that up. And I'm going to set myself to busy here so that I don't keep getting disturbed. At the moment, yeah, there's not really much going on. I'm just going to pause the video until the draft gets started. Alright, sorry there. The draft is started, and let's just get right into this. We got Chancellor of the... Which one is this one? Chancellor of the Spires. Necro Pouncer. I've heard this card's really good. I haven't really had a chance to use it myself, but it kind of feels a little heavy. Like, it costs 6, and yeah, it's a little bit unwieldy, but its ability is pretty good later in the game. There's nothing too much that really stands out. There's a Spire Monitor 2 and a Blight Agent and an Artillerize. I'm going to go with the giant blue flying fatty. Its ability is not that relevant, but the fact that in the late game it can be a big house, I think it's reasonable to play, and it's not a straight up bomb, but I think it's good enough to take here. I really like Spire Monitor 2, but I tend to stick to blue flyers, and unfortunately I have to pick one of these. I'm going to try to go with a 7-drop or with a 5. Some people will say that, like, 7 mana is pretty much the same as infinite, but I still think it's fine. Wait, did I end up taking Artillerize? What happened there? I had like a few seconds left on my clock. Huh. I just noticed that Artillerize was big. I mean, it's not the worst case scenario, but I guess now I have to change my plans because I thought I was taking a blue card. Had I taken the Chancellor, I'd probably look towards some of these really bad blue cards. But now I'm taking an Artillerize. I guess this Volt Charge seems a lot better now. There's also the Invader Parasite in this pack, but I haven't really been that impressed with this card. It just feels like a bad Stone Rain most of the time. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll take the Volt Charge here. And luckily for me, I took the Artillerize, although I probably would still take the Volt Charge here anyways, even if I had blue as my first pick, but anyways, I guess this sort of worked out. Now I kind of wish that my first pick was blue now, because we passed 2 blue cards in that first pack. There was the Chancellor and a Spire Monitor. And now I kind of just want to take the Spire Monitor out of this pack, but there's another Artillerize. Like if I went something like Chancellor, Volt Charge, then my next pick here would probably be Spire Monitor. But because I went Artillerize, Volt Charge, I think the clear pick is a second Artillerize here. And then try and pick up stuff to go along with it, like cheap stuff. And I really, really like blue, and I really, really like Spire Monitors, but given the way the picks have been going, I guess Artillerize is probably the more correct pick here. I'm not a great fan of this card. I know it can be a huge blowout, but anyways, I'm just going to take it here and see what happens. Nothing too impressive here. We got Slash Panthers, we got Mental Misstep. I don't have too many of these yet. But it's not like I'm really playing Legacy Online, so I don't really need them that badly. Really, this pack's pretty unimpressive. There's like a 3-1 for 3, and Forced Worship's alright. Bludgeon Brawl doesn't seem very exciting. I guess I'll take the Slash Panthers. It seems alright, and I guess if we're trying to go with the burn plan, then we just want to try and do as much damage as possible, so I guess the Panthers could get there. I really wish that we picked blue cards up to this point because Mind Calling is just one of my favorite cards. I don't see a reason not to take it out of this pack because this pack doesn't seem that impressive. The only card that really stands out here is the Deathhood Cobra. But compared to like Mind Calling, I don't think it really holds a candle. Like Mind Calling is just so good if you can get it going. Yeah, the rest of these are not that exciting, and I'm not that impressed with anything here. So yeah, I'll go with the Mind Calling here. I feel like I might get cut off in blue in the next couple of packs, but Mind Calling is another card that we can splash anyway, so it's not like a big loss for us. So we can take either, I think Razor Swine's alright, and Blind Zealot's okay. I like going red-black, especially with this much removal. Like going black for more removal is probably a better plan. Getting in like cheaper casting cost creatures and clearing the way for them, and finishing them off with burn spells probably seems like the way we want to go. And again, like Mind Calling is probably something we can splash if we have to anyways. The rest of the cards in this pack don't seem that impressive. I know it's kind of like going out on a limb. We didn't really see that many good black cards coming, but like the Blind Zealot is a little bit of a heavy black commitment, but like the rest of these cards don't seem that impressive, so I'm just gonna take it here. This pack just doesn't seem very good in general. There's a Glistener Elf, but that's not that good anyways. And Dementia Bat is kind of sluggish. There's a Geth's Verdict, which seems okay, and then a Flameborn Hellion, or no, a Flameborn Viren. This guy's okay, but I mean, a Crawworm, I guess. I guess try and go a little bit black with the Geth's Verdict. It's not the most impressive removal spell, but these cards in general aren't that impressive, and I don't really need a fatty for the red deck, so we'll see. Another Blind Zealot, so maybe that's the path we want to go. I mean, Immolating Soul Eater is also a good choice, but I mean, it's not that great, and I'm not so impressed with it in the long term, so yeah, I'm going to stick the Zealot here. So this is the pack that came back. Post-Mortem Lunge doesn't seem that exciting because you only get one use out of it, is that right? Yeah. Scrapyard Salvo. So number of art attacks in the graveyard. I mean, we could go the weird burn plan with that, I suppose. It's not the greatest. I think I just take the Post-Mortem Lunge. I'm probably not going to play, but better to cut black, I guess. These cards aren't very good. It's either between like Immolating Soul Eater, Dementia Bat, or Parasitic Implant. I guess our deck has like problems dealing with like creatures that are really big or can't be, or indestructibility or something like that. So this can deal with those creatures. So I guess I can take that here as a fallback. So now we got a choice between a 5-drop or a 6-drop. I think we're for sure gonna be in red, so I'd rather take the 6-drop here because the 5-drop isn't even that good. So I'll take the 6/4. Crawworm's good. Well, it's not that good, but I guess it's fine. Nothing really here. I guess I'll take a rare. Take the dude. Got that. And yeah. Well, looking back at this pack, judging the amount of blue cards we saw, we could have had like 2 or 3 flyers. There are 2 flyers and a Mind Culling, so I guess maybe the fact that we accidentally didn't go blue worked out better for us. It seems like people on our right are probably blue. And we went black, and now we get rewarded with a Massacre Worm. Alright then. Taking a quick look at the rest of this pack, nothing really holds a candle. Pierce Strider is okay, Ogre Resistor is okay, Morbid Plunder is okay. If anything, I expect maybe the Ogre Resistor to table, but that might be wishful thinking. The rest of this pack's not that exciting. I'd be pretty happy if the Ogre Resistor came back. Yeah. Anyways, Massacre Worm. Moving on. Green Sun Zenith. Unfortunately, not in green, but it's not even that great, anyways. Blister Stick Shaman sort of goes with our plan. There's also a Flesh Eater Imp, obviously not in our archetype. And Phyrexian Rager is alright as well. So, the moment I'll go with the Shaman. It's like a pseudo removal spell, and it's a decent man. And I would like to see a Rager come back, but again, that's probably wishful thinking. Vidalcan Anatomist is something to keep in mind, and another, like this Serum Raker and Anatomist are in the same pack. I thought the person to our left was most likely going to be in blue, but Anyways, or maybe to their left. So we'll take the Blister Stick Shaman here and move on. This pack, not so exciting. We got an Ogre Resistor, Morbid Plunder, and a Plague Mirror as probably the picks for us. I'm not too worried about picking up mirrors, especially one with Infect. Like, we could probably pick up mirrors in the next pack. Because Plague Mirror is just the same as a Gold Mirror or a Silver Mirror to us. So, Ogre Resistor or Morbid Plunder. I think Morbid Plunder is the pick here. We don't need generic vanilla dudes at this point. And, yeah, seems okay. So I'm gonna cost sort right now. I'm gonna hide the postmortem lunge. Although postmortem lunge with Massacre Worm is pretty sick. So now we gotta pick between Ogre Resistor and Skinwing, and again, we probably don't need vanilla creatures at this point. We have a couple of, oh wait, all our 4-drops are removal spells right now. I think the Skinwing is probably more useful for us because it lets our crappy creatures get in later on in the game. Even though it does cost a lot to equip, it's still basically like a 4-mana 2/2 flyer, which is probably hard to come by in our colors anyways. So I think I'm gonna pick that up here, and maybe table one of the other 2 Ogre Resistors that we saw. The Juggernaut is something to keep in mind, but we kind of have our late game slots clogged up already, so I'm going to take the cheaper of the creatures right now. There's another Blister Stick Shaman, another Flesh Eater Imp, something to keep in mind, because whoever has those Flesh Eater Imps is probably going to have a pretty decent deck. The Mirror Sire is something I hope might come back, but I don't think we'll have, like, that's probably what, like the 3rd last pick in this pack? Probably unlikely. It's probably going to be Land, Phyresis, and Leave the Stampede. Yeah. So I'm going to take the Blister Stick Shaman here and move on. Okay, this pack, not a whole lot going on again. We've got to pick between either Spin Engine, Dross Ripper, or Virulent Wound. Virulent Wound's a decent removal spell. We're pretty decent for our 3-drop slots. Our 4-drop might want another guy, but I think we should be able to get like an Ogre Resistor or 2 out of the rest of this pack. So I think picking up the removal spell should be okay here. Yeah, this pack's not that exciting. Really doesn't have a whole lot going on for it, but yeah, really wins fine here. Phyrexian Rager looks like the pick. Yeah, everything else is pretty mediocre. I've never played with this guy, nor do I think I ever want to. It looks pretty mediocre. Even when you have Metalcraft, it doesn't even seem that impressive, because it's still just at best like a 6/1 if you think about it. Nested Ghoul is alright, but I still think that Phyrexian Rager is probably the best value card of this pack, so taking that. There's a Dross Ripper, and there's a Dross Ripper. Okay, I guess I'll get my generic 4-drop now. Concussive Bolt's alright, but in our deck that would only pretty much just be a bad Lava Axe, and because it doesn't look like we're going to get the artifacts to get there, so yeah, I'm not looking at that. So I'll get the Dross Ripper here. And this pack, yeah, as I expected, none of the cards that we want to tabled, so I guess I'll take a generic, what's this guy, the Ringleader, I guess that's fine. It's not the worst. This pack pretty much has nothing for us. I'll take a Sideboard Crush. I don't really see myself playing Silver Skin Armor because it's pretty, like, overcosted for what it does, I think, so I'm gonna pick the Crush on the sideboard and get more of these generic dudes. Probably not playing them all. Okay, so I don't think we're getting Ogre Resistors back. Okay, yeah. None of the Ogre Resistors came back. I'll take a Hexblade Golem, I guess. So, what do we want in the next couple of packs? Not really sure. We'll see, I guess. Ichor Wellspring, that'd be good. I'd like to see those. Oh wait, was that in the last pack? I think that was in the last pack, wasn't it? Okay, so for us, there is a Galvanic Blast, and a Copper Mirror, and a Moriok Replica, and that's it. I think the safest pick is probably the only real pick, is the Galvanic Blast. I mean, we passed up a Plague Mirror already, but I'm not too worried. Like, we only really need one or two mirror in our whole deck to make this deck run a little bit smoothly. Like, our curve looks okay. We just need like something to fill in the 2-drop. We don't have to actually have like a shit ton of them, but yeah, Galvanic Blast seems fine. I'm gonna take that here. So this pack doesn't have a whole lot for us. There's a Trinket Mage with nothing for us to get, obviously, plus we're not really going to splash a Trinket Mage. No black or red cards here. There's a Chrome Steed, there's a Horizon Spellbomb, which could sort of help our Mind Calling splash. I mean, I'm not really going to play the Goblin Cavalier, I don't think, because I only have one piece of equipment, and I don't really care about it that much as equipment, because I sort of count it as a creature. The Chrome Steed is not really going to get past a 2/2 in our deck. I mean, we could go the real super burn plan with Necrogen Sensor, but I don't feel like picking it up at this point, because it might be something that tables. I think taking the Horizon Spellbomb is fine here, even though if we just use it to fix for our Mind Culling, it's still okay, so I think I'll take that here. We might not play the Mind Culling, but this gives us the option to splash it if we want to still. Oh, now why couldn't some of these cards be in the other pack? We got an Iron Mirror, Volshock Replica, Sylvoth Lifestaff, Trigon Corruption, and Contagion Clasp. I mean, I think that the Trigon and the Clasp are both really, really good here, but I think that the Clasp is probably slightly better for us just because it fits our curve better. We've got a little bit more on the top end of our deck. Even though like the Trigon has more uses, I'm probably more willing to sack the Clasp at a more opportune moment to our Artillerizes than our Trigon, because we'd probably need to deplete our Trigon first before we want to sack it. So at this point, even though we don't have a whole lot to proliferate on, I think the Clasp is probably the better pick for us, just to fit our curve a little bit better. Yeah, unfortunately as it is, we have to pass up the Trigon here. Okay, now we got a Silver Mirror to help fix our splash. I think that's the pick for us here. Everything else doesn't seem that impressive. We got Ferivore, we got Heavy Arbalist, and a couple of artifact dudes. I guess, yeah, the Silver Mirror probably the pick for us here, so we'll take that. This pack is not very good for us. There's a Flesh Allergy, but probably don't really need that because we already have two things that need sacrificing creatures. The Mirror Smith is probably just a card I want to hate draft at this point. The Wall of Tanglecore is a card that we could take though. Mirror Smith is probably something a little hard for us to deal with. I mean, we do have a Virulent Wind, Galvanic Blast, and Contagion Clasp. I guess it's okay. We could deal with it. So I guess I'll take the Wall of Tanglecore here and not be a douche and hate draft. Wall of Tanglecore is not that great, but it fits our curve at least, so it should be okay. I got a Necrogen Sensor here and a Black Leaves Gob. Where's this? Black Coven Vampires. I mean, it sort of fits our burn plan, but we don't really have that many artifacts again, so we've got a bunch of things on the 5-drop. Probably switch one of these guys out for one of these guys, I guess. That could be a little bit better. I mean, it's that or a Necrogen Sensor. And I guess the Necrogen Sensor works better with our Artillerizes. I'm going to take the Necrogen Sensor here. Maybe we'll take the other one, just go like the straight burn plan with Artillerizes. See how that works out. So we got Ton Likeness and Flesh Allergy and Flameborn Hellion. I have a bunch of things that like have to attack already, so and 6-drops. I think we're okay with the Flameborn Byron already, so I mean maybe the Flesh Allergy is a card here. I mean it's sort of like a burn spell too, if you think about it. And it can deal with hard to deal with creatures if you really need to. I think this might be the pick for us here. Yeah, I guess so. Sure. I'm gonna go with that then. Wow, that's a late turn to Slag. I'm pretty happy to pick it up here. So our deck is basically just like a butt ton of removal. And Moriok Replica to refill and Mind Culling, so we should be okay. Yeah, we got the Necrogen Sensor back, so I guess we'll pick that up here. And nothing really going on in this pack. I could fit in some creatures, I guess. The Ichor Rats is pretty late. I'm surprised whoever has the Flesh Eater imps are picking up these guys. I can't remember exactly how this pack panned out, but maybe I'll take the Blade Tribe Berserkers here because it's the only card for us. Yes, take an Assault Strobe, whatever. Sure, whatever. I probably should have taken the golden in there. That's actually a reasonable card against us. Whatever. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. So, this deck doesn't seem too bad. A little bit on the clunky side. Oops, I accidentally show all instead of hide. Oh well, whatever. Alright, so I'm going to put this on the side for now, and remember I want to splash it, so I'll leave that on the side too. I'm going to put all the cards I think can make the cut right off the bat. I'll put a couple of these on the side too. The reason why I'm actually putting in the parasitic implant straight away is because, other than the reasons that I mentioned before, that it helps to deal with problematic creatures, is that it also provides you with a creature, even though it's a 1/1 mirror, but it gives you more things to sacrifice to your to the Attila Rises. So I think that'll help us a lot more down the line. I guess even if we end up splashing the Mind Calling, I don't think that I actually want to put the Horizon Spellbomb in, because one island and a Silver Mirror should be enough. So we'll see how that works out. And that. So the Mind Calling is sort of sitting on the side right now. Kind of really think about this. I guess I could put the Wall of Tanglecord on the side. I don't really need it, and it's only just going to clog up the ground, so I should be okay on the ground anyways. So let's try and work this out. Oops. So that's how the deck looks like at the moment. If I put in the Mind Calling, I'm basically looking at 10 creatures. 10 creatures and a Skinwing. That's not very good. It's like a lot of burn though. A lot of burn, a lot of removal. I kind of don't really like. What do I don't like here? I don't know. Maybe the Volt Charges or maybe the Necrogen Senses are just too much. I should put some mediocre creatures in here. And they're not that mediocre. This guy's actually a 4-drop. This guy can get in here. This guy can get in here. Maybe splashing the Mind Calling is too much. Yeah, I think so. I think that there's no real reason to jeopardize it, especially with this sort of mana base. We have a lot of double black, a couple of double reds here and there. Yeah, there's no reason to sort of like hinder our mana base any further at this point. So, what's the card I don't want here? Cat's Verdict, maybe? No, maybe Virulent Wound. I guess with a Galvanic Blast and a Contagion class, the Virulent Wound is not that necessary. The rest of the removal spells I'd like because they deal with like a lot larger creatures. And I have stuff like Blister Stick Shaman to fill in the gaps for the Virulent Wound missing, so I actually forgot about that when I was originally picking the Virulent Wound. So I actually didn't need a Virulent Wound that much of the pack, but if I'm thinking back, I'm not really passing up that much on taking the Virulent Wound over whatever else was in that pack. I think it was like a Draw Stripper or something like that. So I think I can cut the Virulent Wound here. Sideboard it in if I come up against the Mirrorsmith guy or the Infect guy, but at the moment it seems okay. The question is, how much mana do I want in this deck? I think because of the mana base, I actually want 17 lands, because the Silver Mirror doesn't actually help us mana fix, it just ramps. So, still need to make a cut here. I guess maybe cut a Necrogen Sensor, because I don't want to have a bunch of do-nothing cards that clog up my hand. Like, one Necrogen Sensor is probably fine. I probably don't need 2 of them, so I'll cut that for now. Yeah. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 artifacts. So nothing actually requires Metacraft here, so it's okay. Actually, no, we have 8 artifacts. I forgot to count the. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I was not incorrect. I counted everything the first time. It was 7. Um, or we had 8 with the nitrogen sensor. Probably is what I was counting. Um, just looking, taking one quick look again. I don't really like Blade Tribe Berserkers as random hill giants in my deck. I mean, Drawstripper is a fine enough hill giant, and it has a better ability, and doesn't depend on Metalcraft. Um, the Koldotha Ringleader is a question though. Is it better than the Blade Tribe Berserker? I guess like the Ringleader, if I can clear the way for it, it's going to do a bunch of damage anyway. So, I mean, I need something at the top of my curve just to sort of like feel things off, because the way our deck looks like it's going to play out is that we're just trying to like clear the way for our small guys to beat in and then finish them off with something like Massacre Worm. So hopefully we can get there with damage. Let's see. And Moto suggests 9-8. Let's just double check this quickly. Yeah, it seems fine because we have a lot more double and triple black cards than we do have double red cards. We have 2 double red cards, and the rest are all single red. So I am perfectly happy with that mana base. Unfortunately, we don't get to splash the Mind Culling, but looking back at that pack that had the Mind Culling in it, I can't remember if there was anything that good compared to the Mind Culling. I feel fine still taking it here. Going back, I'd probably still have taken it. So thinking back to the pack 1, having the fact that I was thinking of taking the Chancellor, we would have had like very few blue cards in pack 1, and probably would have ended up somewhere along this line anyways, and our deck would have been slightly worse, I think. So maybe it worked out for the best that we took the Artillerise. So, but if I had to pick a second card of that pack, if I wasn't going to take the Artillerise, I was going to take the Spire Monitor. It's really tough. I'm not really sure exactly what's the correct pick in terms of blue cards. Maybe taking the Artillerise is actually the correct pick because of the 2 blue cards are there, so that you let the 2 people to your left fight over it. But well, anyways, we're just gonna. The draft is done, so we'll just see where this goes.